Go, George.
Blessings, blessings. I want to say hello, good evening to every one of you. This is the Sourceseeker Hour. This is the time that we take to talk about what's going on and what's happening in the world today. As we get this program started on this evening, we want to give a big shout out to the Sourceseeker himself, Brother Baruti Carl Alexander, who has made this thing possible. We salute you. Peace and power to you, Brother Baruti. On tonight, everybody, I want you to know that we've got a fabulous show to head up. We are talking about, we've kind of nicknamed the show, Where is My Stimulus Check? What is really going on in this new year, January 2021? There is so much stuff that's going on. If it's not the stimulus check, it's the coronavirus. If it's not the coronavirus, it's what's happening in Washington, D.C. It's Donald Trump. It's Joe Biden. It's Kamala. You name it. It's going on. Oh my. So on today, we are going to talk about it. I got some great guests that are on here with me. I have Brother Alan Freeman, want you to know, a nationally acclaimed comedian, and also I'd like to add to that, also a social activist and someone that is woke, that's getting the word out. Also a good brother, friend, and colleague of mine who I've had the honor of working with, great administrator, great coach, great educator, just great all-around person. I'm talking about Nelson David Green. Also, we have some other folks on here that are very dear to me. Very wonderful young woman all the way from Portugal, Spain. I'm
Thank you, Papa.
talking about my daughter, Claudia Ribeiro. She's on here with us on today. And it's good to have a little international flavor. So I'm happy to have
Thank
you, Claudia.
It's a pleasure. It's a blessing.
Yes. And my own son, great man of God, great law enforcement guy, great everything, great soldier. I'm talking about Brother Eric Williams is on here. Oh boy. So what I'm gonna do real quick before we get the show even started, I can't tell the story. So what I'm gonna do, starting with Alan Freeman, then Brother Green, then Claudia, and then Eric. I want everybody to take just a minute to tell us who you are, tell us some things about yourself so we can get acquainted with you. And then after that, I'm going to see if Brother Sourceseeker himself would like to have a word for the audience. So Brother Alan Freeman, let's start off with you. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, first of all, let me say that most of your audience probably knows me as Al D. Freeman. Carl knows me as Alan Freeman because that was, and so does Brother Green, because that's what my name was in elementary school. But when I got all Hollywood and stuff, you know, I changed my name to Al D. Freeman. At least they did. The folks did. You know, they and you know what's funny about that is that when I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts for my collegiate studies in theater. It is it's considered the #1 acting school, professional acting school in the world. They accept the 200 best actors from around the world, from colleges around the world. So when I got there and I registered as Al Freeman, they told me I couldn't be Al Freeman. I said, "What do you mean I can't be Al Freeman?" They said, "Well, it's this great actor named Al Freeman Jr. that's on this sitcom. I mean, on this soap opera that is Al Freeman. So you can't be Al Freeman." I said, "Well, that's my name." And they said, "Well, because of union rules, if you want to get paid, you know, you got to figure out a way to do that." So he spelled his name, you know, Al Freeman, A-L. So I just added another L to mine. And it looked like All Freeman. And they go, "Oh, that's great, because now it's a great conversation starter." So long story, I'm Al D. Freeman. I am a professional stand-up comedian and actor. I have been sent, so I've been getting checks, let's say that, at professional comedy since 1982. and travel around the world doing stand-up, literally produced television for Steve Harvey and Jamie Foxx and some other folk. You know, toured with some of the greatest entertainers in the business, every major comedian, Dave Chappelle, and I'll tell you a story about that later. Dave Chappelle, of course, Steve is a good friend of mine, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, George Wallace, it just goes on, and some of the greatest bands in the history of R&B, some of the guys I love. And I'm a single father, raised 4 beautiful kids. Got one in college right now who's on the dean's list at Lamar University. Very proud of her, and got some most headed. And I'm a good old Sunnyside boy. It's like Mr. Green would tell you, we good old Sunnyside boys, and we came up doing integration when they bust us from the black neighborhoods to the white neighborhoods to go to school. We were talking about, we went to Frost Elementary, and I remember the first day of school, we were taking a bus from Sunnyside, and we got to Zelinsky Boulevard, which was Frost University was on, Frost Elementary. The bus driver told everybody to put their heads in their laps. So, well, you know, we put your heads in the laps because they're going to throw rocks at the bus. And sure enough, when we pulled up to the school, they were throwing rocks and stuff at the bus. They were yelling and screaming at us, man. And, you know, it was surreal, man.
Oh, man. That is something. I know you're going to have a lot to share with us on today. And it's an honor and a blessing to have you as one of our guests, Brother Al D. Freeman. Don't y'all forget the name. So when you're watching TV or you see him, you can say, oh, I know him.
Yeah.
So we glad you on here. So we can't wait to get it started. Coach, well, he says he's Coach Green. I knew him as Mr. Green, and just an all-around great person. So, Coach Green, go ahead and tell us about yourself. It's on you.
Thank you. Well, this is my work computer, so that's why you see Coach Green. I'm a career educator. This is year 37 for me.
Wow.
In education.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've held pretty much every position in education except that of superintendent.
Right.
About 8 years ago, when the location Northwest Prevalent, where George and I used to work together, when I left there, I decided I wanted to go back to the classroom. When I initially went into administration, I wanted to make a change because, you know, as a classroom teacher, you see a lot of things that go on with the administration that is not necessarily in the best interest of the staff or the students. And so you figure if you get in there, you can make a change, you can make a difference. And I feel like I was able to make a small difference, but I don't do politics well. I'm not a politician. I don't do politics well. I don't kiss butt, and I refuse to do in another person because somebody else doesn't like them, you know, or somebody else has a problem with them. I refuse to be somebody else's hatchet man. So 8 years ago, I decided to go back to where the rubber meets the road, and that's to go back into the classroom. And so when I went back into the classroom, I decided to get back into coaching. So I coach, I teach geometry, and I am a football and a track coach, and I'm loving every minute of it because I love interacting with the young people, and I feel like I'm in a position to be able to really shape their minds and help them to see some things a little clearer. You know, one of the things I pride myself on is a lot of my older students, every time they see me, one of the things they'll tell people is, I always kept it real with them. I shot straight with them. I didn't sugarcoat things because out here in these streets, out here in the real world, there are some things that's going to happen that you may not see or you're protected from in the walls of a school that you're not going to be protected from when you're out here in the community and out here in the streets. And so that's what I, you know, not only do I try to impart the subject matter information to them, but just some real life lessons and things of that nature. I'm also an author. God say the same. This year, 2021, I will be finishing my book entitled Fathers and Sons, A Journey with My Seeds. I have 3 sons. About 5 years ago now, I lost my middle son. My youngest son, who is an up and coming hip hop artist, was an honor student at Howard University when we found out that he was bipolar and suffered with depression, and he became suicidal. And so what I talk about in my book is mental health issues in the Black community, which has always been taboo. And what I hope to do with my book is to let people know it's okay to acknowledge that you have an issue or that your family member has an issue, and don't shun them. Be there to support them. You know, I'm my son's biggest fan, and I'm my son's biggest supporter. And there are a lot of people in our community walking around suffering in silence. And so what I just hope to do is not come across as though I have all of the answers, but just to let them know through a lot of my trials and tribulations, just to let them know that it's gonna be all right, especially if you embrace it and take it on head on, then you can overcome it. And when I say overcome it, I'm not saying you get rid of the mental health issue, but you're able to live a healthy, productive life while dealing with whatever your mental health issue is. And so I really look forward to finishing this book. And my goal when I retire is to write books and go around the country and do public speaking. And so that's who I am, and that's what I'm here to do.
Oh, wow. I love that. You told us a lot in like 2 minutes. I'm like, wow. And we just thank God for your experience and everything that you've gone through, because one thing about it, in your experience, I know that you're using it to help others and to cultivate a whole generation that's coming after us. So definitely we honor you for that. Wow, I'm telling you, we got some people on here. Claudia,
Yes,
how-
Papa.
tell them who you are and where you're from real quick.
I am your daughter, your Portuguese daughter. Okay, I'm Portuguese. I'm a pastor, of a Pentecostal church, but under the spiritual coverage of Bishop Sanders, Apostle Sanders. I'm a single mother. I have lived in the UK for the past 27 years. And since June 2020, I moved back to Portugal, where I'm from. What else? I'm not very sure of that's the right word. I have my own business, yes. Of party and event planner. So I'm an interpreter. I don't know how you say entrepreneur in English. I don't know if that's the word.
Right, interpreter. You're
Yeah. And as well, I'm the secular word. I'm an interpreter of Portuguese, French, and Spanish and English. I have a daughter and a son. And I'm a woman of God who loves to worship the Lord. And I like to laugh and to make friends. And I'm your sister in Christ Jesus, all of you.
That's great, Claudia.
And I like to cook.
And you do like to cook.
Yes.
This Fargo's something else.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I thank you for your wealth.
Thank you, I, for the opportunity.
Yeah. When I come, I'm gonna say, not the escargot. They'll let you eat that. But,
no, I promise I will cook a nice meat and fish. Don't worry, we Portuguese, we know how to cook fish.
Good. I love it. Love it. This is
I can't wait for you and Mom to arrive.
Oh, we'll be there very soon. Don't worry, things are gonna. I'm just playing. Thank you for everything that you do, Claudia, and I'm glad you're on the show. And
I'm very. As soon as I saw on the group chat, I already tried 2 times to see if you were here.
I am here. It took I had to get on my computer. It was running slow, but I made it.
Thank God. It's midnight 20, but I'm gonna be here until the end.
Okay, well, guess what? Just hang on. Get you some coffee. We won't be so long.
Thank you so much. God bless everybody.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
And we also have Eric Williams on here. Eric, go ahead and unmute your mic and tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself, son.
How y'all doing? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got my mask on. I'm at work right now, so I'm kind of doing two things at once. So, of course, Bishop already said I'm Eric, and I'm one of his armor bearers and his helpers. We've been knowing each other for about going on 2 years now,
Right.
almost 2 years. Yeah, right now I'm a personal protection officer. I've been a personal protection officer for going on 9 years, and I in the future going to start my own business and having a training facility, starting a gun range, and everything, teaching people how to protect themselves because, I just had the kind of epiphany that, I'm not going to always be there around all the time. So the best thing for me to do is actually teach somebody how to actually better protect themselves. And to me, I feel like I'm accomplishing my purpose and my passion. And the reason, I've kind of been in this field is it's kind of dark. When I was 8 years old, I've kind of seen my dad kill somebody in front of me, for self-defense because he's trying to attack us and everything. And ever since then, I kind of felt that, I want to protect other people because I don't want them to feel be in the same situation I was in, feeling fear. So I always wanted people to have a sense of safety and security, and knowing that they're not a victim of attackers, and they can actually help protect themselves and help protect other people. And since then, that's always been my passion since that time.
Oh, wow. Well, I thank God for you, and I thank God because when you're around me, I do feel safe. And I know that you'll handle the lightweights. So I really do appreciate it, man. And I'm happy that you're on this show with us. And with that being said, Brother Baruti, do you have anything you want to say before we progress with the program, the Sourceseeker himself, Brother Baruti?
I just want to say I thank everybody. I appreciate it. This is a very important subject to talk about, and I'm gonna let everybody say what they would like to say, and I'm just gonna sit in the background and listen.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Brother Baruti. Listen, we have a very mixed set of guests on this show. So I do want you to know that everybody's opinion is respected. Don't feel intimidated or feel like if you have a certain viewpoint that you can't express it. All viewpoints and opinions are welcome on this forum. So I want to jump right into it, and I'm gonna mess with Al D. Freeman. Brother Freeman, to start this thing out, did you get your stimulus check? Did it did it come in the mail? Yeah, you on mute, Brother Freeman.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Did you get your stimulus check? How you feel about that situation with this stimulus thing?
First of all, I don't trust checks. I want cash. But since I have to have a check, I've been waiting outside my front door for the past month, waiting on this money to come. And yet to show up. Everything else has shown up. All the bills have shown up. But the check, still waiting on the check, man. And it's a strange situation, man. That $600 is that's just not enough money to be waiting on, man. I want the $2,000. And
Yeah.
I think Trump might give us the $2,000 now because he's very contrite now. Did you see the last interview of him? Now he's condemning all of the, the rioters, and I think he's going to appease us on the way out with a $5,000 check.
I would love that. I would love that. And I asked you that, Brother Freeman, because I'm like, I'm not trying to be funny, but on a good day, I've blown $600, and it wasn't on nothing worthwhile either.
If you have a wife, you have blown $600.
Go back. Hit it again. I think you went back on mute, Brother Al. Brother LD, I think you back. Yeah, let's get back off mute. There you go. Yeah, we got to hear what you said. What you said, because I know it was something.
I said that if you got a wife, then $600 ain't nothing. Listen, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. Oh man, if you try to spend $600 on your wife on Valentine's Day and see, won't you get the side eye? You got to spend $1,000, man, if you want to stay in the house.
That's true. That's true. Woo! I don't know. Brother Freeman, how you think Brother Green feel about that? Brother Green, have you got did you get your hookup?
Well, actually, it didn't come right when they said it was coming, but it did. And what happened, the day they said we were going to get it, and they said you could possibly get it as early as the next day. So that morning around 6:30, 7 o'clock, my son came and knocked on my door and he said, "Dad, I got mine." So his was there the very next day. Like Brother Freeman, now I knew mine because they said it was going to, however you got the last one was the same way you were going to receive this one. And so the first one I got, it was direct deposit because that's how I had my taxes set up, because everything was based off how you filed your taxes. And so like Brother Freeman, I waited and I actually came to the conclusion. I said, you know what, for whatever, I'm not going to get it. Something I don't, maybe something has changed and I'm not going to get it. I even went online and it had the little message that either it was on the way or you don't qualify for it. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So now, because it was $600, now not that I couldn't use it, but I wasn't going to lose any sleep over it. And then on the news, they said they came back and said, because everybody obviously was in that situation. And so they said, look, if you're getting this message, this is what you do. And so it said, if you used an outside entity to do your taxes, you should receive an email from them. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I do my taxes through TurboTax. So I go to my email and lo and behold, there was a message from an email from TurboTax saying, good news, you are going to get your check. We're going to start releasing them on January the 8th. And I was like, okay. Well, January the 8th came and left. I didn't get it. 9th came and left. So the 8th, I think, was a Monday. I finally got it on a Saturday. It came into my account on a Saturday. So yes, I did receive it. And I think the excuse that was given was that the IRS, in their haste to get them out, they sent them to old accounts that were closed, and things of that nature. So it's a big headache, but I did receive it. Like Brother Freeman, I'm waiting on that 2,000 they talking about. I don't think right now, Mr. Trump ain't worried about no $2,000 stimulus. He trying to stay out of prison.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He trying to stay out of prison right about now. So with that being said, because our incoming president is on board, saying that the $600 was not enough and was on board for the 2,000, I'm hoping that once he is actually in office, that he will be sending money our way. And I mean, I'm very thankful and grateful to get it, but I mean, honestly, I'm working, and so I'm very blessed. But there are those who are not working,
right?
And that $600, I mean, that's not going to do too much. And so even the $2,000 only kind of stems the tide for a little bit. So $600 definitely didn't do much at all. So I'm just hoping that another round of stimulus checks do come, because there are some people out here who are really, really hurting and really, really struggling. And it's a really crazy time right now.
Oh man. I was just thinking while you were talking about how rough it really is, and I would have preferred the 2,000 over the 600 any day, but that's politics. So hopefully we will get some more. Now, Eric, I want to know your view on this, because I know a little bit about your political philosophy. So did you get your stimulus check, and how do you see this thing?
Funny thing is, I got my stimulus check the next day they said it was going to come out. So it came to me pretty quickly. And what's funny is I feel like I wasn't supposed to get it, but somehow I got it and it came quick. And, you know, I know people are struggling, like what the last brother just said, and everything is because last year I didn't know how I was going to make it, but somehow by the grace of God, I made it. Somehow I was able to pay all my bills. I was able to keep my vehicle. I'm able to still be here somehow by the grace of God. I just don't understand. Like it's to be honest, it's a miracle and everything.
Yes,
and you know, it's just if anything, if I didn't know anything about miracles, I learned it last year. You know, so but yeah, it was a blessing that I was actually able to get it. I actually got I actually got it pretty quickly, so you know that was a blessing right there.
Oh wow. So what do you feel about the $600 you got? Did it bless you, or what you feel?
Well, any money is a blessing. I'm not gonna knock it down because you know, yeah, it's not enough, but at the same time, that's money I didn't have, you know, and
Right.
and for some other people, that money, you know, could keep them afloat. That money can be the next meal. That money can pay their light bill or whatever. It's something to keep them over. And for people to complain about it, it's just, you know, you don't know what people are really struggling, and they really are banking on this $600 that's coming in.
Oh wow, man! I thank you for your view on that. I had a couple of new people that came in, and I want to ask them about their check. Carla Poe, you just came in. Are you able to unmute and talk to us? Carla Poe, I need you to unmute though. If you can hear me, I need you to unmute. There you go. We talking about the stimulus check. Did you get yours, Carla? Talk a little louder. We can't hear you. Let's get your volume right.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on, because
there it is. Beautiful picture.
Talk to my husband because I'm trying to get my phone right.
Okay,
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear? My husband is on too. Can you hear him?
I can hear you right now.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and we were talking about the stimulus check. Have you got yours?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Has it been a blessing to you?
Yes, sir. It came right on time because I tell you, my husband was at home for 3 weeks, and so it came on time.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yes, he was at home for about 3 weeks, so that worked out.
Yes. I'm gonna tell you, Carla, I have yet to get one. I didn't get one the first time around. I didn't get one this time around. But God is faithful. That's all I can say. You know, I didn't miss a beat, so I'm thankful. I'm very grateful to God.
Okay.
There you go.
Wow.
But I'm happy for the ones that did. I know Claudia is on here too, and Claudia's in another country. I see Jeffrey on there too. I know he driving,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna get to the great apostle
Yes, sir.
in a second. But I want to ask Claudia, and I think this makes up a good discussion before we go to our next topic. Claudia, in your country, I know which is Portugal,
Portugal.
Spain, all of that. What are they doing to help the people there that are not working? We're doing stimulus checks. How is the
Yes.
government taking care of you guys in your country?
Yes, in Portugal, only those ones that have worked at least 6 months are entitled of grant of some money, which makes the minimum wages of Portugal there are roughly around $600,
Okay,
roughly. But only those ones that have worked at least 6 months
okay,
contract. The other ones, they are not entitled to get any help. And the social service, they give as well some food bank. They have food bank running.
okay. Let me ask you a question. Then I need to ask you a question. Is the $600
for
one
for the
time?
fellow
Do they get it?
fellow
Hmm?
fellow during the COVID.
Yeah.
Those families, they have worked. Only the ones that have worked, they are entitled of fellow.
Okay. How many times do they get the $600? Only one?
Only one, only for 3 months they had help for three
Okay.
months.
All
And
right.
the only one member, for example, you and mom, yes, both of you have work. So one goes home and stay with the kids, and the other one is the one who will get the entitlement. That's what
Okay.
how they doing here. But for example, because I haven't worked in this country, even though that I'm Portuguese, I'm not entitled of fellow. I'm not entitled of help from the government because I haven't paid tax in this country.
So you
That's what
didn't
they
get
said.
nothing.
Now I'm not getting the help.
Oh my
Then they said, how did I live if I don't have proofs of income here in Portugal? Even though I'm Portuguese. But
oh
because I've lived in the UK, so that's what they do.
oh
But
my.
in the UK, they are helping those ones they are in needs. Those ones they are not working. The government are giving them roughly £1,200 monthly
Okay.
for a single mom.
1,200 pounds in American dollars, how much would that equivalent to?
Would be roughly $1,300
Okay, great.
for a single mom with one child. If it's a single mom with two child, will be nearly $2,000.
Oh wow.
And that is the money that we should pay to help us to pay the house now during COVID. And plus we at weekly we get a food bank to give us some food. That's
Oh,
the help they are giving there now during COVID.
are they giving food in Portugal for people that don't have food?
Yeah, they giving like cans and no perish food. No, yeah, just
Okay.
cans, just something to help.
Okay.
But the keys, they are very big, and you have to go through social service and the questions, and they will check a lot of things just to help you.
One last question. So between the United States and Portugal, who do you think, from what you've been looking at both sides, who's doing a better job of taking care of their people?
England, United Kingdom.
England wins. If they're giving
Yes,
their people $1,300 and adding on more depending on how many kids you got, England is doing the best. So
yes,
yeah, so I won't fight you on that.
yeah.
Thank you,
You're
daughter.
welcome. Thank you
Um,
so much.
yeah, I'm gonna take it back to Brother Green real quick. I want to talk about something else. We've been looking in the news, and we know, uh, we all know that Biden has come out in the wash that he had the most votes. You know, usually the way I've always learned it in school was that the person with the most votes win. But a lot of people are having an issue with that, and they may have legitimate qualms about it. But Brother Green, I want to ask you, what do you feel about the siege? Was it that just recently happened? Was it un-American? Was it patriotic? And how do you feel about it? And also, how do you feel about it in relation to other protests that went down? Was it treated or handled in the same way, or was there some unfairness, or was there some discrepancies? How you feel about that whole melee?
Oh, wow. I got a lot to say on that one. This might sound crazy, but on the one hand, it was very un-American. On the other hand, it was very American. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean when I say that. The country that we portray us to be, for it to be the country, you know, for the United States that we portray it to be, it was very un-American. It was treason. You attacked our country, our leaders, because you didn't like the outcome. And so it was very un-American in that regard. But when you look at the history of this country and how people in power would act when things didn't go their way, it was very American in that if you know, white people feel entitled, whether they abuse the entitlement or not, they feel entitled. And so when things don't go their way, and then you have someone like Trump inciting them, all that, I tell people, all Donald Trump did was stir up the racist antbed of this country. Racism hadn't gone anywhere. Racism has been here, and I don't see it going anywhere for the foreseeable future. But it was kind of smoldering underground, so to speak. And then you put a man in office, the highest office in this land, and he began to espouse the things that he was espousing and pumping them up, so to speak. He gave them the courage and gave them the okay, the green light to go ahead and do what it is that they did. And so on that side of it is very American. Now, in terms of how it was handled, trust me, had that been Black Lives Matter or any other group of minorities, there would have been, the Capitol would have been littered with hundreds, if not thousands, of body bags. There would have not been any conversation. There wouldn't have been any talking. It would have been tear gas and bullets, in my opinion. And so, and to Joe Biden's credit, he came out and said it. Joe Biden actually came out and said it. He said, "Look, if that were Black Lives Matter or any other group with minorities, the outcome it would have been totally different." You know, so this is simply America's chickens coming home to roost, in my opinion. We've often touted ourselves as the best country in the world, the beacon of light, of the country to be emulated, when in fact we have a lot of flaws. We have a lot of flaws. And what happened on January the 6th was a microcosm of what goes on every day in this country. You know, minority males, especially Black males, we get shot running away from the cops. We get shot in the back, running away, not approaching them, not threatening them, but running away. Regardless of whether they committed a crime or not, they were running away and they get killed. They get shot in the back. We watched police officers backing up from individuals who were definitely aggressive. I mean, when you look at the news now, these people came armed to bear. They had guns, they had bombs, They had ties to tie people up. There was a hangman's noose that they had, which was supposedly for Mike Pence and whatnot. So clearly these people, they didn't come to talk. They didn't come to be civil. They came to maim, murder, which they did, because that officer who died after that struggle, that's murder. And so it was a travesty, and it's a stain on this country. And I'm really interested in wanting to see how we actually try to turn this thing around and come together, because this country has been divided, but the Band-Aid has been ripped off of that wound. And so it's time to stop sugarcoating it. It's time to call it what it is and deal with it head on. Because if we don't, this country is going to implode.
Oh my God. I feel some of the things that you said. As Black men, we've experienced it. So I feel you. Apostle Jeffrey Poe is on here, and I want to see how he feels about this thing. Apostle Poe, if you can come off mute, how do you feel about the January 6th insurrection? What did it mean for you, and what feelings did you have?
Thank you, Bishop, for allowing us to come on tonight. This is what I would say. We have finally found out that there's two systems of justice in this country. There's a system for justice for Black people, and there's a system for justice for white people. So with that being said, and as the gentleman was just explaining just a moment ago, I will go as far as to say this. When we had 4 Americans that was killed in another country, in Benghazi, the Republicans made an issue out of it for 2 or 3 years. They wanted to have investigations after investigations after investigations, but yet and still there has not been one news conference by the Justice Department. There has not been one news conference headed up by the FBI. There has not been one news conference headed up by the Department of Defense. Now, with that being said, with the Department of Defense, it was stated that when Benghazi was attacked, that President Obama did not send in relief, even though the relief was some thousands of miles away. But yet and still, we see that the National Guard from Maryland, the governor had asked for permission to dispatch that National Guard, and they was denied. So we're only talking a National Guard that was right across a line, per se, to come into the Capitol. We also had the National Guard from the arrive on time. So we see that support was held up in regards to aiding the Congress that was in session, to allow them to people walk away.
Let's see, you kind of went out, Apostle.
They were at that point in time. Should not one person had left the scene without being arrested. We shouldn't be looking for people right now. They should have been arrested on that day. So if it had been a Black person or Muslim or whatever the case may be, they would have been, as the gentleman said, they would have probably been dead, because they was trespassing, and they was on federal ground, and they would have never took in no consideration as to asking any questions. They would have just been shooting first, ask questions later. As we saw on the videos that's been released, that this was a planned attack. So there was a lot of planning. So with the planning stages of it, how deep does it get? How high does it? So there's a lot of questions to be asked or to be answered in regards to that. So if there's no televised news conference to let us know what's going on, it's been 6 days. No one is telling us anything. but yet and still they held the Obama administration to giving out updates every hour, on the hour per se. They always wanted an update. They always wanted to use the blame game. But yet and still, when they can see it for themselves, the thing about it is this: Congress was the target, not just normal citizens. Congress was the target, and with Congress being the target, they should have no problems or no qualms about handing out any kind of retribution for what has happened. None whatsoever. That impeachment hearing yesterday, that should have been across the board, 100% saying, I support the impeachment, because they were there. So they saying that now they saying I was scared because my life was on the line. They're threatening my life now, but they threatened your life that day. So what's the difference? They was gonna kill you that day if they could have got to you.
And one thing, quick thing I want to add right quick, what's even scarier is the number of police officers who are being arrested and who are resigning. We had an HPD officer resign today who was there, who was videoed, and who's in the process of being prosecuted. He resigned today, an HPD, Houston police officer. And he wasn't the only police officer from across the country that was there. But that just gives you an idea. As the gentleman just said, you got two justice systems. You got two legal systems here, one for Black folks and minorities and one for white folks. And look at the people that are given the tremendous responsibility of keeping the law and order. So again, there's no surprise. There shouldn't be, no one should be surprised when we're getting shot down in the streets like dogs, when you see the kind of people that's walking around here with guns. And I feel for righteous brothers in law enforcement, because I can only imagine what it's like to go to work and you know you're outnumbered when it comes to doing the right thing. But I do believe that the day of reckoning is here, and everybody's gonna have to stand up and show their hand. And so that's what I'm waiting to see.
Wow. Well, let me add this in here because I wanna see if we got some different perspectives. I'm first gonna go to Eric Williams, and I'm glad Connie Lopez is on here now. So she was successful in getting on here. So welcome to you as well, Connie. Eric Williams is in law enforcement, and I want to get his view on the insurrection, on what he felt about it, and you know, we're gonna go a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole. So Eric, go right ahead.
Oh yeah, the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So I don't know if y'all saw that movie in The Matrix. Matrix is one of my favorite movies. And Morpheus said, you either want to take the red pill or the blue pill. Which one are you gonna choose? So I hope people are gonna choose the red pill. And you're probably not gonna like what's gonna be said. So
it's okay. All views are respected on here. I'm sure you're not the only one.
In my knowledge of being the business of protection and actually securing locations, a place like the Capitol is the most secured building in the nation. So you mean to tell me that people were just able to walk in, or did somebody let them in? Or was it planned from the inside because they already knew this was going to happen, or was it enticed? But nobody's looking at is asking these questions. They're saying the thing is, the problem is the media is separating people, and when we should really be together. I don't care about President Trump. I don't care about Joe Biden. Joe Biden, if anybody remember him, is the most racist man during his time. But people have voted for him just because he is so-called Democrat. And Martin Luther King said, I don't care about being Democrat or Republican because they both have flaws. And they do have flaws. Now, the thing that what really went down is what on both sides of the matter, one side is saying that pro-Trump supporters will never do that. Another side of the people who are pro-Trump supporters are saying that the Antifa was disguising themselves as them to do that because they're trying to put a bad taste on people about President Trump. So what do we believe? We don't know who to believe. It's always two different sides of the story. I mean, like anybody who has a brain will want to hear both sides of the story. But people are always going to go towards for the hate first because they see all this stuff going on. They see Black people getting shot all the time. So it's already feeling the fire. Nobody want to hear it. They always want to blame, you know, what they see, that they think that, man, this you know, all this stuff is going on. So, you know, everything is just, it's too overwhelming for people to comprehend right now. And they're not thinking straight until you really start asking the right questions. How did they get in the first place?
So Eric, let me ask you this real quick while we're having this discussion, and then we'll add a few other people. But I want to take the time to ask you this. I've heard those same discussions too, but at the same time, do you feel that there are any radical groups that are supporting Trump that could have been responsible for some of the havoc? Because I heard that too, that they said that there were people, and like me, I don't claim either party because I know that they're, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, they're just a different face of the same coin. You know, Republican or Democrat, they all need Jesus, in my opinion. But do you feel that there were that Trump kind of check and balance the people he knew that's on his side that are radical, and what could have been done to change that?
To be honest, I personally believe that wasn't his intentions to do that. I just feel that, but there's always people, radical people that always mess everything up, like, you know, just to make things worse. And yes, he does say things that fuel the fire for, you know, to give people reason to be racist. And I do believe that. And yes, there are radical people that probably was in that you know, that were causing the violence also. There's always if. No one really knows what happened that day. But in my heart, I feel that somebody let them in.
Oh yeah. Well,
Can I say
what was that?
Can I say something on that?
Go ahead.
Eric, I hear you on that aspect of who let them in, or did somebody let them in. Let's explore this for a moment. How is it that you come to the Capitol with crowbars and knocking in the windows? How is it that you got all of these tools that you need to set up a gallows in the courtyard for a hanging noose? How is it you bring in all of this equipment and you're not prepared for what you're trying to do?
Can I also say this? Can I also say this? Why is it on that day there wasn't enough protection?
I agree 1000% with Eric in terms of, I mean, and actually we have footage of it. It was an inside job. Ain't no question of, I mean, you'd have to be an idiot to not recognize that and not see that. So definitely there was an inside job. As Eric stated earlier, hell, it should be, if it's not, the most secure building on the face of this planet, if not in America for sure. And so for them to be able to get that close, definitely it was a inside job. And Will we ever find out 100% the truth of who was all involved? Probably not. Probably not. But again, it's just another example of how people in power, what the lengths they will go through to keep that power. And so as this thing continues to unfold, because I follow it, I even watch, and I hate watching Hannity, but sometimes I can stand about 5 minutes of Fox just to see what they're talking about. Then I got to go because I can't. But I watch MSNBC, Fox, CNN, all of your local news channels and whatnot, because everybody wants to put their own spin on it and put their own perspective on it. But at the end of the day, definitely there was an inside job, and I'm gonna disagree with Eric from the perspective of Trump didn't expect that to happen. I know Trump's an idiot, and I know Trump is, can sometimes act like he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I just don't see how he could not know that the things that he was saying and how he was saying them and how he had that crowd whipped up, that something of that nature was not going to happen. Coupled with the fact we're now finding out that this thing was coordinated. This thing has been planned. They're intercepting the FBI and the DOJ. They've gone through and they're intercepting and have intercepted text messages, emails. That's why you see some of these law enforcement officials and some of these other politicians in trouble now, because they were a part of it as well. So it's going to be.
It had to be organized, Brother Green, because I'm not trying to be funny, don't get me wrong, but the first time I saw the pictures of it, the only thing I could think about was the Million Man March. I'm like, the Capitol is flooded with folks. How did this? They're not at work. What's going on? I'm like, wow.
You're talking to somebody right here who I was at the Million Man March. I went to the Million Man March, and it was peaceful, serene. That was an unbelievable weekend in DC. That was an unbelievable weekend. And when I tell you, we were being watched, and the entire time that we were there. So as Brother Eric said, ain't no way in hell you're gonna get that close to the Capitol and be able to do what they did without some inside, without it being an inside job.
Wow.
Projecting it also.
Lady that's on here. There's a young lady on here, and she's been trying to get on, and she finally made it on. I know Claudia is still on here, but Connie, if you could unmute Connie Lopez, I want you to give us your take on what's going on and how you felt about the events that happened that day.
Me?
Can you? There you go. We see you. Hey, how you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good to see your beautiful face. Talk to us. We want to hear you.
Okay. Basically, this is a spiritual warfare against darkness in high places. And Trump, I won't say he's a Moses, but he's being used in this season as a Moses. I mean, a lot of people hate the way he speaks, the way he talks, but Moses had a stuttered problem too. And Donald Trump, in the beginning, I didn't like Donald Trump. I mean, I hated Donald Trump because he didn't know how to address the people. He didn't know how to talk to the people. But when I went and I voted for Bernie Sanders, when I left that place of voting for Bernie Sanders, my belly wanted to come out. I was in so much pain and so much, just pain. And God said, did I tell you to vote for Bernie? And right there, I had to repent because I was following my son. My son's a Democrat, and I'm a Republican. And I followed my son because I felt my son had more wisdom because he's young, he's brilliant, he keeps up with everything. He works for the senators, he does everything. And so I waver. I went that way. But when I went that way, God stopped me when I came out of the voting booth. And he said, I never told you to vote for him. Did you ask me who I wanted? And right there, I had to repent because my belly was killing me. I mean, it was the awfulest pain I could have ever gone through, to feel that I had disappointed God and I didn't ask God who he wanted me to vote for. You know, I'm not racist. I mean, I'm not against blacks. I'm not against whites. I'm not against Mexicans. You know, I'm all for one. But what we're going through right now, we're fighting each other, and God is trying to make us unite, to come back into love again, because basically we have destroyed our own selves. We have destroyed the unity. We don't know what unity is no more, because the minute you say something, you offend somebody. And God is trying to take that offend. I don't care who you offend, because you need to get back to my word, my cross. You know, we have let sinners go so far, and we can't even pull them back because they think they're so right now, that us Christians are the ones that are being prosecuted. We're the ones that are being torn down because what? We lost our authority when we gave it up, because basically everybody gave up their authority. We gave up everything, you know. And I mean, like I said, I didn't like Donald Trump in the beginning, but when God convicted me, I felt it in my belly. You know?
Well, let me share this with you, Connie. You probably didn't know this. I feel that Trump would have been the man. I'm going to tell you something. I really think, I tell people to this day, God could have used Donald Trump, but I feel that he messed up because he didn't have the adequate spiritual support. He didn't have real people that was talking into his ear. He had people that had different agendas, different things on point. They were thinking about themselves. And I really think that they misdirected the president when they could have led him in the right way. They could have did some things for everybody, because it's not rocket science. Everybody knew that Trump was pro-Christian. They knew he was pro-church, and they knew that he was about getting back to basics, to the old way of doing things. He was not with this new neo way of doing things where everybody do as they please. So I get that. But I think that he didn't have adequate counsel. I think that's what would have saved him, because everybody's excited about Uncle Joe and Auntie Cam getting in. But my thing is that I don't even see them as the leadership. Anybody with good sense know that in a couple of days, Barack Obama is the one that's going to be inaugurated as president. As a matter of fact, I really feel that one of the reasons that Donald Trump could not be successful is because it's Barack Obama's fragrance and scent that is still in the White House, even in these past 4 years. And that was a lot to fight. And with Biden and Harris coming in, it's the same thing. I believe it's Barack Obama that's going to call the shots. And I think that Barack Obama is going to get a chance to finish what he started, whether people think that's a good thing or whether they think it's a bad thing or whether they indifferent. To me, this is like Barack Obama's third term. But I want you to know that I feel you when you say that, because it's a lot of people that looked at this. They didn't look at this political, but they looked at this in a spiritual sense. So I get where you're coming from, and I want you to stay on here because I do want you to give some more comments. I wanted to run to Carla real quick. Another lady, you got another young lady on the show with you. So I wanted to get the lady's perspective. I got yours. So I want to get Carla, and then if Claudia wants to say something after that, she's out of the country, but I still want to see how they view what's going on with us. So, Carla, what you got to say?
Okay. My point of view here is based on, we all saying it was an inside job. And how in the world can you even get that close, even get to the steps to even get in? and once you get in there, how in the world, in that big place, do you know where to go and grab some of the very things that you were looking for? But some of the things you couldn't get to because they already grabbed it, but they told them where it was.
Like Nancy Pelosi's door?
Come on.
Like those ballots, like the electoral ballots. That's what they were
right. Right. So that they were looking for, and they knew where to go get it. So then,
like a laptop, they got her laptop too.
So somebody had to tell you where to go and get it. How do you know where her office was? Why was all the stuff on the floor that they were digging and looking for something in certain offices? So this was already planned. They had already talked about it. But yet instead, if that had been a Black person,
I wouldn't have made it.
You would have never made it to the steps. You would have never made it to the steps, much less going through the door.
I would have got shot on the street.
On the street. And when I first saw it, I said, this looks like Million Man March. I said, all these people. So then, if you see all these people up front looking like the Million Man March, how in the world can you even get to the Capitol up that close? That's my thing. I'm like, okay, something ain't clean in this milk. Somebody did an inside job to let somebody in. Yes.
That's so embarrassing. I just got on the camera.
Okay. My child just walked in the door. She said, "You on Zoom?" Yeah, you did walk in the camera. But yet still. But I'm just baffled to know that our eyes are open. The world eyes are open, because this has been going on for years. This has been going on for a long time. We've been fighting against one another for a very long time. And God is not pleased. It's what's going on in the world. So God is saying, he's sitting back and he's opening everybody's eyes, and we're looking at one another. We're seeing who we really are now, behind all this stuff that we've been hiding behind. So God is letting us see who we've been loyal to, who we've been supporting. What's on the inside is coming on the outside. So you can't cover and hide no more. So God is exposing people in high places. This is a spiritual thing also. So God is exposing all this unclean stuff, all this stuff that's been going on for years. And so God is speaking to us even in all of this. I'm trying to show you how wicked the land is. He's speaking and saying, you're wicked. My people are wicked. So God will allow the very thing that will shake us and make us say, what is going on here? So God is shaking us right now. God is doing something in the earth, and he's preparing us at the same time, because God will put certain people, allow certain people to get in position just so he can get your attention. So God has everybody's attention right now. Even the one that's loyal to him, to Trump, backed away, resigning, because now they see who I voted for, who I was loyal to. This is not what I bargained for. So God said, wake up, because he's trying to get us positioned and ready and prepared for his coming. So he has to shake the world, because this is a wicked land we're in. So if this does not wake you up, and then with all this stuff that's going on with the pandemic, all this stuff is going on at the same time, it's time to get right. It's time to get right. It's time for us to stop fighting. It's time for us to unite and come together. It's too much foolishness and wickedness in the land. So I believe in all of this, something good is going to come out, because now God is exposing a whole lot of things. He's exposing all this bad stuff, and it's coming to the surface. So it'll make you check yourself. It'll make you check your viewpoint of how you look at people and what you expect of people. So when you get ready to make a decision and voting for people, yes, we all have flaws, but Democrat, Republican, we got to look at who is going to be a leader for our country. But yet and still, we all have flaws. Ain't nobody perfect. The leaders are not perfect, but yet and still, we got to be very, very careful and seek God's face on the answer, and not just say, well, I always been a Democrat. I always been a Republican. I'm a diehard Democrat. I'm a diehard Republican. But yet and still, we got to know who's for us and who's going to work for us. But out of all of this, it's a mess, but something good is going to come out of all of this, because God is waking us up.
I like that. I like that a lot. This is the first year that I didn't want to vote for anybody. I just felt like it would be more powerful not to vote. But I just wanted to stay at home and see the results. What you say, Green?
The thing about it, George, you know, because I belong to a lot of different social groups, and nobody, very few people, if any, are think that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are the second coming, or that they're the savior. This was a vote, but a choice between the lesser of two evils. That's what this vote was for. Donald Duck could have been on the ballot. They were going to vote for Donald Duck to get Trump out of office. That's what this was about. So there aren't a whole lot of people walking around thinking that, I mean, people are very aware of things that Joe Biden has done in the past. They're very aware of what Kamala Harris has done in the past with some of her laws and the way she handled her business when she was the attorney general, I believe it was, or the district attorney, I'm sorry. When she was the district attorney and whatnot. So this was a choice of a lesser of the two evils. And I also agree that, because I'm a positive person, I recognize, I'm a realist, I recognize the negative, but I focus on the positive. And I truly believe that good can come from this, because I do believe that there are more positive people and people who want to do right than there are those who don't, although there's quite a few that don't. And so this is, this has been a long time coming for the United States. This situation, all of this has been a long time coming. And so when I said the roots, the chickens have finally come home to roost for the United States, that's what's happening. And as Ms. Lopez said, yeah, God can use, and has down through history, has used all sorts of people. You know, when you talk about Jesus's disciples, you know, all manner of folks were Jesus's disciples and whatnot. But one thing God gave us, he gave us free will to choose. So even though he put Trump in a position and could have used Trump for positive, Trump, for whatever reason, whether he chose to follow the wrong person, whatever, he made a choice. He made a conscious choice to not change, because if you follow Trump, because if I'm talking about, because some people are Trump is new to some people in terms of, like, within the last 10 years or so or whatnot, But if you follow Trump from when he was young, this is Donald Trump.
Oh, with Jeffrey Epstein and all them guys.
This is Donald Trump. He chose not to change. So he was given an opportunity. He was blessed. He was blessed with an opportunity to make a difference. And he chose to be about self as opposed to being about others. And so here we are.
Because he had a lot of positive characteristics. I love this. I'm not gonna lie. I love this foreign policy. I did not hear Kim Jong-un name. Probably the only time I heard his name this past year, this whole 4 years, is when they thought he was dead. Other than that, I didn't even hear North Korea, whatever it is, South Korea. I didn't even hear about them in the news. So I did like that because I said our president is so crazy. All the terrorists are on vacation.
What about Putin in Russia? What about Putin?
Let me say this. Let me say this about foreign policy.
Putin was his boy.
Let me say this about foreign policy.
You trying to say something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let me say this about foreign policy. The foreign policy, the reason why we haven't heard anything about Al Qaeda and all these other terrorist groups, or whatever the case may be, they were funded by somebody else. They was funded to cause the ruckus, to cause the chaos and confusion around the world. So it's just like this group of people that went to Washington, D.C. They were funded by somebody to get there. It's going to come out.
The Proud Boys and all of them.
It's going to come out. It was funded by somebody. So where did the funding come from? So somebody is funding the chaos and the confusion. So if you slow it down somewhere else or you stop it somewhere else, that means the money stopped. It stopped flowing. So only thing you got to really do is follow the money. But in regards to Trump and his policies, he was put there. But one thing about Donald Trump is this. I'll say this much about him. He'll tell you what's going on, and he'll tell you in such a way to let you know what the truth is really about. He was telling us in our system of elections, there was some cheating going on. He told us that. That's why he was still fighting. He knew that cheating was going on because they know he cheated to get in. There was some cheating been going on. He's just bringing it to the surface now. That's all I gotta say about that.
Let me ask a quick question.
That was the pot calling the kettle black, because you sure right. It was a whole bunch of cheating going on. But the funny thing about it is, you ain't care about the cheating as long as it was benefiting you and you were winning. But when it didn't go your way, now all of a sudden it's like, I ain't cheating. So hey,
this, you know what, Dr. Green, this is kind of a replay from 4 years ago when the other group lost and everybody was upset and they wanted a recount, but Trump was still our president, and it kind of like reversed, and now this is going on. So what I want to know real quick while we having this discussion, I know Connie is on here, whether are there any other Trump supporters on here? Because I don't want them to feel like we beating up on them. Eric, are you still on here? Or what party do you support? Eric, can you hear me? There you go. Hey, Eric,
I don't support any party, but I do favor. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
I really support the
you kind of win me.
I support more. I'm more of a favor of the Republican Party.
Okay.
I don't really like to support or say that I'm a Democrat Republican. I'm more in favor.
Okay.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, it sounds like it's a delay
Can you hear
going
me?
on, like a 5-second delay. But we heard it, so
I don't
you,
know, but like, is it better?
yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but what I was saying was, I don't have like, I don't really support a party or anything. I kind of favor leaning towards the Republican side because I do share the same views as they do, but you know, I'm not gonna say I'm a Democrat or Republican or anything like that.
Right. Well, personally, I like what the Republican Party stand for. As black people growing up, we was always taught to vote Democratic, but when we read our history, we found out that it was the Republican Party that took the shackles off of us in the first place and was working to put people in the Senate, and that the first blacks that actually were in politics were Republicans. So I do know that we started going Democratic after the Great Depression, and I forgot who was in charge, whether it was FDR or his Theodore. I forgot which one was in charge, whichever one that was over the New Deal. If I got some history buffs on here, they know what I'm talking about. But because of the president that got us out of the Great Depression was a Democrat, I do know that as a people, we went to voting for the Democratic Party, but historically, it was the Republican Party that fought against the Jim Crow laws and things of the sort. So I don't look at it as a racist thing. I look at it as a political thing, and I look at the issues, and I don't have a problem saying I did have a problem with Trump, but when Trump got in, I was all for working with him. You know, that's our president, and it's God who decides who will lead. So my job at that time was to immediately go into prayer for him. I didn't like a lot of stuff what he did. And from the beginning of the year, even when George Floyd got murdered, the Lord started ministering to me about some things that happened that a lot of people didn't like. So it surprised a lot of folks, but I was not surprised the way the election went. I was not surprised what's going on. If y'all follow me on Facebook, I gave you every prediction, even to the point to I said that there was a good chance that this year that the inauguration date was going to be changed. And I haven't checked, but somebody told me something about there was a strong possibility that they would change the inauguration date. I haven't been watching the news, so I don't know if they actually did that.
No, they're not. They're not.
They're not?
They're not changing it.
Okay, that's a good thing.
They fortified every capital in this country, and they're fortifying every the National Guard is actually standing in front of the Capitol as we speak. So
and that was part, and you know what, Brother Green, that was part of my prediction. I told them that, and I said this back in September. I told them that the National Guard would have to, and those of you that follow me, y'all read it. I said the National Guard will have to be deployed because of the results of this election. So this is really crazy. And before I get y'all comments, I'm gonna ask Claudia real quick, and then I'll get back to everybody here, Dr. Green and Connie and everybody. I'm going to get back to you real quick. But Claudia, since you are outside the United States looking in, what are they saying about us? What are they saying about our election process and what they saying in the beauty shops in the marketplace?
No one never liked Donald Trump. We do not support Donald Trump, even though we're not Americans. And we had the idea that he's racist. I'm sorry, yes, but that's the idea, and we follow all the corruption, all the agreements. But the only concerning of the Portuguese country, yeah, is just wanted our alliance, our relationship with the United States to be more open and better. So we say, even if it's Trump or Biden, we just want our relationship to engage and to move forward. But spiritual speaking, yes, now my opinion, I'm not politician. Speaking, spiritual speaking, God's word needs to come to pass. And we are nearly at the end of the times for God's words to come to pass, to accomplish, no? So it is necessary for all this change of ministers, presidents, so everything can come to the top, because no a leaf of a tree can fall without God's permission. So all these things is true is for us to unite nations, countries, everyone in the earth, yes. But like the you know, the triangle with the eye, yes. So that control, there is open your country, United States, is like a curse.
Yeah, that's
as
our
well.
capstone. It's on the dollar bill.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So all those things and everything that I have been seeing, God use you, Father, to talk to us on the lives, the things, the signs, the things that are about to come and they're already happening.
Right.
So it's necessary all this, and God is allowing. We do need to respect the authorities, because God says in the Bible that we need to respect, yes, the authorities. But it's not for us to say, yeah, I agree or I don't agree. We can like and dislike, but it is God's allowance, permission. So we see the word come to pass.
Right.
Because if this president, Biden or Trump, they don't become presidents, yes, the alliance, the union for be only one nation,
right,
how is going to come to pass? The things that are about to happen in the book of Revelations to come to pass is necessary there, because America is a strong country, nation, yes. And it's like we know things are not just going to come from Europe, from Rome. We know things that are happening there inside United States of America,
right,
in the spiritual realm, spiritual things. So all this is engaged, is involved with spiritual and with human.
Right. And
so,
you know what, Claudia, I wasn't.
No, I'm just saying, but I like that's why I said the Portuguese, the Portuguese people, they are supporting Biden.
Okay. I was going to say this, daughter. I think what a lot of people are looking over, and I know everybody's going to chime in on it, is that a lot of Americans are looking at this as a spiritual thing, because it's a lot of things that we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about QAnon. I don't know if anybody heard of QAnon, but that's the secret organization that pretty much they say that Trump is the hero that's fighting against a lot of the evil that's taking place. Because and some of y'all have probably heard this about many people that's in the Democratic Party and some Republicans too, are pretty much pedophilic, cannibalistic, Satan worshiping infidels, which I can tell you to an extent is pretty much true. It happens. It's been going on since the beginning of time. There, you know, the Bible tells us that we battle against spiritual wickedness in high places. But a lot of people were behind Trump because they felt that Trump was anti this. Yes, Trump is a lot of stuff, but they said that Trump was against all of the pedophilia, the sex trafficking, the drug, you know, all of that. And that's why a lot of people got on his bandwagon. But at the end of the day, the question is, will we be able to survive in the world after Trump? And was Trump truly equipped to go against these dark forces?
I don't think so. In my opinion, I don't think so, because it was just a cover, a coverage, a cover. Like the as you say, nail polish pops out.
Right.
Trump's mask will pop out very soon.
Well,
because I don't agree that all the promise they made, they will come to pass, because he was just acting, in my opinion.
Okay.
And we were very shocked with the deaths and the things that happened there.
Wow.
You understand me? That shock is special against our color. Even that I'm how do you say, a bit this color. My blood is black. Yes,
Right.
I'm black. So it was really sad for us to see the racism. And we, I don't know if you know Bolsonaro, the president of Brazil, because Brazil is a Portuguese colony. Yes, so we related too much Bolsonaro with Trump.
Right.
That's what we done. So it's very, very, it's like, not just a part of being a Christian or Catholic. Yeah, I'm just going to say, but common sense, someone that say the things that they do is common sense. It's not reality. This is not going to come to pass. It's not going to happen.
Wow. Daughter,
this is our point of view here.
And what I want to do real quick.
When we promise too much.
Right.
It's strange.
Hold on 1 second, Dr. Green. I don't want to beat up a few people. Hold your thought and let's get Connie in here, and then you
sorry. Thank you so much.
I got about 5 minutes. I gotta go.
Oh, okay. Connie, real quick, let me give you a minute to speak, Connie. I'm gonna give you a minute, and then we're gonna hear from Dr. Green, because he got to get out of here. So Connie, where are you? Because you represent Trump on here. Tell us how you feel real quick.
Well, I mean, Donald Trump could have did what Donald Trump could have did another 4 years, but somewhere, like you said, he didn't do something, or he did something that was not approved in God's eyesight. And me,
like most Christian leaders. Like most Christian leaders. That's our mistake. We do something we're not supposed to.
Yep. But I just ask, that what happens tomorrow is better for us, better for our children, because it's the next generation that's going to hurt, because we're going to pass away pretty soon, one day.
Right.
The next generation is the one that's going to feel it.
The future will be in their hands. You hang on, Connie. I just wanted to get a rebuttal from you. Dr. Green, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Oh, no, I didn't want to. No, I was just, I got something I have to go do. But.
We want to hear you.
Okay, but this is all, my thing, I'm like, for a while now, I've been like Eric Williams. I'm about ideas. I've heard Republicans have some ideas that I agree with. Democrats have some ideas that I agree with. So I'm about ideas. I'm not under any illusion about any of them. And so, but the issue is, one of the issues is that for some reason, it's very difficult for us to come together and have a willingness to hear each other out and whatnot. And sometimes we see and hear what we want to see and hear. And not to want to just beat up on Donald Trump, but one of my favorite sayings is, "It is what it is." And so I think Trump was able to bamboozle a bunch of people because some of the things he said he stood for, his actions, not his words, his actions has shown he really doesn't stand for that. And I hate to drop a bombshell and then run off, but I know you mentioned pedophilia and things of that nature. I asked them, go back and look at some of the footage and Donald Trump's interactions with his daughter.
Wow.
Trust, you don't have to take my word. Go look at some of his interactions with his daughter since she was a little girl. How he touches her, how he kisses her, how he interacts with her.
And some of the things he said about her.
Some of the exactly. On the Shock Jock, what's his name? On the Shock Jock show. Some of the things that he says about her. And then look who he associates and he affiliates himself with. When Epstein got busted, he tried to distance himself from Epstein. But him and Epstein were boys. And as the old saying goes, birds of a feather fly.
Yeah. Hold on. Do you think Jeffrey Epstein's still alive?
No, he didn't. No. What I believe is Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. I don't think he killed himself.
Okay.
I think he was killed to shut him up because of in part because of what I just said.
What he knew.
Because of what he knew. He didn't kill himself. He was murdered. So no, he's not alive. He's dead. But okay. I don't believe he hung himself. I
asked you because they got rumors out that there have been drone spottings of a man that looks just like him on his island.
Well, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised. I don't put anything past any of them. But I'll say this: whether he's dead or alive, if he's dead, I don't believe he killed himself. I believe he was shut up.
Oh.
But I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to see some old friends. Wow. Thank you for the opportunity to see Ms. Lopez and Claudia, because I don't want to butcher your name, Claudia. I don't want to butcher your last name. But it was a pleasure to meet you guys. Eric.
It was a pleasure for me too. Thank you so much.
Let's be a part two. Let me help everybody. Dr. Green, we're bringing you back for part two.
I'll be here. I'll be here.
It's already been confirmed by Baruti. There will be a part two to this.
Great. So look, God bless, Godspeed.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh wow, this has really gotten deep. I'm trying to see at this moment, Ophelia. We brought up a lot of things. We brought up Jeffrey Epstein name. I want to ask everybody, and I guess this will be our final words for the night because it's just a few of us left. We know that it's got late, but I do want you to get a final word. Baruti is telling me that it's time to wind it down because we've actually went over, like, believe it or not, we have really went over on our time limit, but it's been such a very hot show. So starting with Eric Williams, I want to, if you're still here, Eric, what is your final word on what you expect to see in the coming days up to the inauguration? I guess the question to ask, will there be more violence? And what do you think the end result is going to be when the smoke clears? Will there be a new president and vice president in office, or are we looking at a lead to a civil war?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Don't worry, it's a delay, Eric. So okay. I might have said something. It's delayed, but we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Better?
Better.
Okay. Now, my view on what could happen is there's going to be more talk about the vaccine and everything. They're going to talk more about the vaccine to get people's minds off this. What's everything going on with the inauguration and everything? But with all come down to it, some simple reason, I don't know if anybody know, but Nancy Pelosi's laptop been missing, and that held a lot of information. And I think it's going to bring to light about what happened with the voting system. I think that's what's going to really save Trump's Trump's seat, in my opinion, for the next 4 years. I don't know, but I'm kind of banking on that.
Wow.
And so we just gonna have to wait and see, because to be honest, this voting, nobody really knows who the president is. They say it's President-elect Joe Biden and everything, but at the same time, at the end of the day, there's a reason why Trump is silent. There's a reason why Trump is out for Facebook, out for Twitter, because he knows something. He knows something. And real big question is, where is Nancy Pelosi's laptop?
For real. For real.
Yeah.
That's
So,
a big, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to close with, that, because I really do believe Trump still got a chance on actually still winning.
Wow. Thank you, Eric. And thank you for your honesty and your candor. And I want to have you back for part 2, okay?
All right, thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's hear from some other folks real quick. Final word, Claudia. What are you feeling about what should us Americans expect to see in the coming days? How is this going to end?
We just with expectation to see what's going to happen on the 20th of January. How is it going to be?
Okay. I see you. So the world is watching us.
Yes.
The world is watching us. Wow.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I would like to ask something. Sorry. About the COVID injection, immunization.
The vaccine.
How are you Americans handling? Are you accepting?
It's 50-50. Some people are getting it and some people are running away from it like it's the COVID. So they've got stuff stocked up in freezers and refrigerators, and they thought that they wouldn't have enough, but they just got stuff sitting there, and they're asking people, could you please come get your injection? So far, the health workers and the elderly and people that are considered high risk, not to mention the politicians and officials, those are the majority of the people that are getting the vaccine right now. But for the most part, and if anybody has a different opinion, we do want to hear it and we'll accept it. But in my opinion, it's slowly but surely, the people right now that are taking it are people that have to take it. I'm going to just put it like that. People that, yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
are you going to take it if they offer you?
I haven't taken it, and I'm probably not going to take it. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. I'm more than likely.
And not. My sister Carla, and sister Connie. Are you willing to have the ammunition?
No, ma'am. No.
So far, in the UK, they only given to elderly,
right,
to NHS, and to politicians.
People that are high risk. And the funny part.
No, not yet the high risk. It's only to the NHS, doctors, politicians, first ones, and then elderly.
Right. And the funny thing is some of the elderly not getting it. The main ones getting it is the ones that's in the old folks home that have to take it. They don't really have it.
Only on the elderly care homes.
Right. They have to take it because they're under someone else's care. So they really don't have a choice in the matter. But elderly people that are still at home, they still got a choice. Because my mom and dad haven't taken it. And they're elderly.
Sister Carla Paul doesn't want to take it.
No, I don't. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. They've been talking about in the news that some of the doctors that have already taken it, some have died from taking the vaccine. Some of the nurses have died behind it, and some more people. So,
yeah,
I don't know. No, I don't see myself taking.
I'm not ready.
Y'all know what, ladies? I agree with Trump on that. And that was, I'm going to tell you something. I believe, and I may be wrong, and they may call me crazy, but I think Trump hit it on the nose when he hooked up with those doctors and said, "Hey, look, y'all take y'all antibiotics and wear y'all masks, and y'all gonna be okay." Because I'm around sick people all the time, and that virus has not got me. But guess what? I got antibiotics. I'm gonna tell you, and they were against Trump on that, but they really hit the nose on the head. And whatever that experimental drug that he had, I think that it works just as well or even better than the vaccine. I know that they had some problems with it, but I believe Trump was on the money when they said that with antibiotic use and with taking care of yourself, you can fight that virus. So that was just me. Connie, real quick. I know Eric is still on here too, but Connie, I wanna get your final words in about what are you expected to happen? What do you see happening when the smoke clears?
Well, I know the God that I serve works in seconds. So I'm still going to hold on to what prophecy was prophesied over Donald Trump. I still know that he has the opportunity to repent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing on God. I'm not going to change his words. I'm just going to wait in the seconds because God works in the seconds. He does miracles in the seconds.
Do you think that what do you think is it going to take to keep him in office? Do you see a civil war coming, or do you think it'll be a general consensus? How do you think Donald Trump will keep his position?
That's very hard to answer. That's going to be a hard one.
I had to ask because even in my prophetic realm so far, I don't know. Don't y'all laugh at me for being a comedian, but I've kind of been 3 for 3 right now with everything that I've seen. I know that it's been a big fight in the prophetic world. And trust me, I'm not jumping up and down because of what I've been saying, because this is stuff that I really didn't want to see, that I didn't really want to report. But it scares me how everything that I did see is falling into place like I did. So prophetically, I'm going to tell you that the level of violence that I saw, we haven't made it to that level yet. So I'm thinking it's going to be some more fighting. There's going to be some more violence. I don't think that we've seen the last. My prayer is that we don't go into civil war, but in the meanwhile, I've been stacking my beans. I've been stacking my arrows. I've been stacking my corn in my meat. I've been stacking because I don't know. It's a possibility that we could be shut down, that we could actually be locked down in our home. So I've been stacking up on food and stuff like that in the event that things get so crazy in the next coming weeks that if we have to be shut down or locked down or the National Guard not letting us leave the neighborhood, we'll be okay. So I don't think
your president takes over, or in
January 20th. Is it 20th or 21st?
The 20th of January. Yeah,
Okay.
they said it would be 20th of January.
Okay. Oh,
but
wow.
we Portugal, we start our lockdown tonight at midnight. Our second national lockdown.
Oh, wow. I'm going to be praying for your daughter. You got enough food stocked up? You got your snacks?
Thank God.
Snacks when you lock down.
Sorry?
I say it's important to have snacks when you on lockdown.
Yes. We ladies, we need to be careful, no?
Yeah.
We can't be shabby.
Papa,
yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I definitely hope I'm wrong, because I keep seeing a whole lot of fighting. I've been seeing bombing.
You seeing it too?
Yeah. And
Wow.
I said, God, what are you saying? So I've been seeing it back to back. So I've been seeing a lot of fighting. I've been seeing a lot of policemen. I've been seeing
a civil war, kind of civil war.
Yeah, I said,
That's what
God,
I
is there
saw.
getting ready to be a war or what? Because I've been seeing a lot of that. I've been seeing bombing. I've been seeing a lot of shooting going on.
I saw
even
some
been seeing
financial
hostages.
problems with your country.
I've
When
been
I
seeing
was
I had a
trying
dream
to
about it.
say,
I had a dream about it too. I had a dream about seeing a lot of fighting going on.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that and hostages also.
Wow.
So
Pop, did America already went like in a bankrupt?
Bankrupt. We still got money. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think America been bankrupt since the 70s. But because we have this wonderful organization called the Federal Reserve, it really doesn't matter, because whenever we need money, we just print it. So you know, the gold, we haven't been basing money on gold in a long time. And I tell people all the time, money is an illusion. Back in the King Arthur days, money meant something because money was backed up with gold. And not only that, we had a barter trade system where if I give you something, you give me something back. But now everything is just based on paper. I don't even know where most of the real gold, not even at Fort Knox anymore. They know where the gold is, but we just paper. And you know, money is ever, because money is supposed to be represented by gold, and the paper is just a symbol of the gold. But we surpassed that back in the 60s and 70s. So we've been living off of fake money forever, y'all. We may have to do a show on that. Eric is my military man, so he just told us that he see war. You see war coming, Eric?
Yeah, I saw. I don't know if you remember me telling you this in the beginning of the year, that I had a dream about a lot of people dying, and there was a big fight.
Oh yeah, I remember that word, and it's crazy because now here we are, and like I say, I don't think the bloodshed has even began. I think the people that got killed at the Capitol this past week, I really believe all those deaths were freak accidents. From the woman that got shot, from the police officers that died. In other words, what I'm saying, these were things that happened because of the climate and because of the emotion and because of the chaos. It wasn't, I don't think it was really meant for people to die, because once again, if folks are being let into the Capitol to protest, then why are we shooting guns? So I don't feel like we haven't seen, that was just a sample. We're gonna see real intentional violence where these radical groups on each side that have been wanting war. Because I don't know about y'all, I'm a 70s kid. I just made 50. And when I was in my 20s, they were telling me that America had been planning for a race war for a long time, that they have been planning for a civil war. So I don't know. We could be seeing the culmination of it beginning right now. I don't know. Depending on how you feel about it, folks. Depending on how you feel. Wow. Listen, this is what we're going to do, because my producer is telling me that we're out of time. If you check in the comments, we are going to continue this discussion on January the 28th, part 2. And I think that is going to be very appropriate, because by then we would have found out if there was really an inauguration. We would find out who they're recognizing as president, and we will find out whether the country has accepted that, or whether or not we in war. So I think on January the 28th, that is going to be an explosive show, because I can tell you now, it's going to be a whole lot of stuff that went down that we did not expect. I see Jeffrey Poe just joined us. Apostle Poe, do you have any final words? I asked all the participants, where do you see us post January 20th? And I want y'all to remember what you predicted, because when we come back on January 28th, we're going to test our predictions. I'm not trying to make everybody a prophet on this show, but this is an opportunity. You get to play prophet, and you get to tell me what you see happening. So Jeffrey Poe, Apostle Poe, what do you see going down? Will there be an inauguration? Will there be more bloodshed? Will we go into civil war?
There will be an inauguration, but I'll say this much. Because of the politics or because of the political climate that we're in right now, there are some people that want to see some things are shaking up in Washington, D.C. All right? And I give you an example, and we'll go from there. Your senator right there in Texas, Cruz, he's going to be pointed at as far as being sedition. They're going to try to charge him with the crime of sedition and stirring this stuff up. And they're going to try to push him out of office. They're going to try to expel him and this other senator from Missouri. But the setup is what happened yesterday with this impeachment. So with the setup being set up, they had to set it up that way so that they can almost say, McConnell said he wants to purge Trump from the Republican Party. But in order to purge Trump from the Republican Party, he has his target on Cruz and Holly and some other people that he does not like. So I'll just say that in regards to that.
I should shave you? What? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. But as far as the Civil War, that's something that they've been pushing for years, like you said. And it's going to come to a climax here pretty soon. But even if there is a Civil War, it won't last long. It won't last as long as what people want it to last, because once you cut off the head of this thing that's been festering, then everybody's going to settle down and go back to their respective corners. I'll just say it like that.
Oh, wow. I love your insight, Apostle Poe. I love everybody's insight, and everybody has really brought some stuff to the table, from Connie to Claudia that's not even in the country, Prophetess Poe, my son Eric. Wow. What can I say? Apostle Poe, everybody that's on here, Connie, I'm going to ask that y'all be with me on the 28th when we come back and revisit this, and we're going to talk about what has happened. We'll be talking about what happens tomorrow, what happens on the 20th, what happens the day after that. So I'm sure it's going to be really interesting when we come back on the 28th. So I want everybody to put it on your calendar and mark it, and try to have some free time between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. I'm expecting that it's going to be just like tonight, where it's going to be a little prolonged, because we're going to have a lot of stuff to discuss. Now, I would love to stay on here another hour, but my producer, the Sourceseeker Baruti Carl Alexander, has told me that my time is up. So I want to thank everybody for being on this broadcast on tonight. Thank you for staying on. Claudia, a special thank you, because I know you're in a whole nother time zone, and Dracula probably just flew by your window because it's late at night. And so I want to thank you for staying up late past bedtime hours to be on the show.
Thank you, I.
And I love you, and I pray for you every day. So I know blessings are coming to you. So folks, I really enjoyed y'all being on here. I'll try to be on Facebook Live tomorrow for another prophetic thing. So I would love to see all y'all faces on that. It'll probably be in the early, not early morning, but morning, afternoon hours. So Claudia, wherever you are now, I'll just say maybe because it's 8 o'clock here. So 12.
Here it's 2 o'clock.
Okay, well, like 16 hours from now,
Yes.
I'll probably be broadcasting. So
I'll
you
check there.
sleep, time to cook, time to do whatever. So maybe like in 16 to 18 hours, I'll be
check
on
there.
broadcasting because that was
Even that sometimes I don't comment, Papa, but I'm there watching and sharing. So
oh,
don't
I
worry.
love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Look,
much to everybody. Thank you so much. May God continue
Thank
to bless everybody.
yeah,
And
I
I'm
love,
gonna be praying for you guys on the 20th.
please do.
Thank
Please
you.
do. Look,
Yeah.
we love all of you. Mwah.
Our politicians, our votes, elections in Portugal is on the 17th this week.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
we'll be
for
praying
us,
for
we
you
are all
guys
in the.
as well.
Yes. But let's pray for God to have mercy in all the nations, because one nation against the other is going to come to pass. So let's just pray for spiritual coverage for us and our families.
Let's do it.
But thank you so much. A big kiss for everybody.